So what should you do if you're skinny fat? The problem is that you don't want to diet or lose weight for fear that you'll look skinny and scrawny, and you don't want to gain weight or bulk for fear that you'll just get fatter than you already are. If we've never met before, my name is Matteo. I'm secretly 12 years old, and I've lost 50 pounds now twice in my life, and I've spent the last 8 years helping guys lose weight, get in shape using a simplified approach to nutrition and training. And if you've seen my videos before, welcome back. I've done a decent job at dealing with the excess fat that I carried and building some muscle on my skinny frame. But there are a few things that I wish I'd done differently to save myself some time and headache along the way. So in order to give you a clear picture of where you're at and what to do next, let's start by defining exactly what skinny fat actually means. We'll look at the 3 skinny fat silver bullets I ignored early on in my fitness journey. We'll give you a clear plan for what to do in the next 90 days, followed by the big decision that you need to make and how to work towards your dream physique long term. Skinny fat isn't really a precise term, it's more of a range. People who are skinny fat don't really have much muscle compared to people who are roughly their height and weight, but have a substantial amount of fat, especially around the midsection. You're not obese, but you're not muscular, but you're not lean, and you're not skinny. It's just kind of an average looking physique with a little bit of extra fat. You might define yourself as looking like an old Honda Civic. It's not a terrible thing to look at, but it's not really anything special from the outside. But if you know anything about cars, you know there's the potential for something great to happen there. Where do you think I was at in these pictures? Am I skinny? Am I fat? Or am I skinny fat? Let me know what you think in the comments section. Now let's get into the first skinny fat silver bullet. A big part of overcoming this whole skinny fat curse that you've placed on yourself is realizing that it's actually not that big of a deal. Seriously, skinny fat is just a completely made up term, and your body doesn't determine your worth in this world. You care about it more than anyone else, and there are literally billions of amazing people on this planet who don't give a shit about how much muscle they carry or how much body fat they carry. And you think Beethoven gave a fuck about his body fat percentage? No, because there's more to life than your appearance and your muscularity and leanness. But if you want to make some changes, that's totally cool too. You'll want to start or continue lifting weights to grow new muscle. Building muscle is this second skinny fat silver bullet. This should be a priority for anyone who's skinny fat because building muscle is like compound interest in the fitness game. Build it as early as possible and it'll benefit you for years to come. It's never too late or too early to get started. It's 1,000 tiny inputs that grows over time. And once you've got it, it's very hard to lose. Think about it. Even if you carry a little bit more fat on your body, if you have a good amount of muscle, you're just thick. Even if you have a wider waist than a spare tire, but you got some meaty traps and some big shoulders and thick arms, that's thick fit. That's a good look. Muscle fixes a lot of things, and if you decide to really lose the fat later, you'll reveal an awesome kind of fitness model type look. Think about it like a house. If you have an extremely well-built house with proper plumbing, architecture, design, and carpentry, then it doesn't really matter all that much if it's kind of messy on the inside. The house is still incredible, and cleaning up the inside and sweeping the floors is a breeze compared to building an entirely new house. So building muscle is the long-term play that makes your body look better at every body fat percentage. I don't want to get too into the nitty-gritty here, but here are 5 muscle building principles you can use to start building more muscle from your workouts. Nothing I'm about to tell you matters if you cannot do it consistently. So find a training plan you can stick to, even if it's just 2 or 3 days per week to start, and stick with a handful of basic exercises for at least the next 6 to 8 weeks before swapping them out. If you're constantly changing up your workout plan and moving exercises around, it's like trying to write a novel but just jumping from chapter to chapter instead of continuing onwards. Your workout should have continuity. They're going to build on the previous sessions. So how you perform in the gym today is going to influence and inform what you do in the gym next week. For exercise selection, I want you to focus on basic movements. Think about squatting type movements, deadlifting type movements, pressing and pulling exercises, bicep and tricep type exercises, shoulder and ab exercises, all the basic stuff that you can think about. There's a reason why they're so popular. It's because they're time tested and highly effective. Your goal is to gradually increase the reps and the load that you use on these exercises over time, and that is called progressive overload. If you can take your barbell curl from 45 pounds for 10 reps to 85 pounds for 15 reps, your biceps will certainly be much bigger. It's important while you're doing those reps to lift in a way that really targets the muscles that you're trying to train, ideally without beating up your joints or connective tissue along the way. So play around with your technique with these exercises, adjusting your hand width or position, and same thing with your foot width and position, or adjust the machine settings or where the cable is located until you can find something that feels really good for you. And once you've got a nice stable exercise that doesn't beat up your joints and really hammers the muscle that you're trying to train, just keep doing patient reps. In a lot of cases, the muscle is going to start to burn. It's going to feel a little bit uncomfortable. It's going to get fatigued. Despite you pulling as hard as you can on that barbell, it's going to slow down. That's the point where you continue pushing. You double down on the effort that you're giving, and you continue controlling the weights all the way down under control. And I want you to keep pushing hard on those exercises while holding the muscle to the flame and continuing to do reps until you feel like you couldn't do any more high quality reps. And you can leave 1 or 2 reps in the tank, so to speak, for stuff that's going to fall on you or where it wouldn't be safe for you to push all the way to failure. And if you follow that 5th principle of training close to failure, it's going to be hard training for real, but it's necessary for growth. And I really stunted my growth for a long time by staying way too far from failure and never pushing as hard as I thought I was. There's a reason you hear this advice everywhere, because it works. And if you follow these principles, you're going to have very productive muscle building workouts. And if you're not taking notes, then what are you doing, my friend? But you'll never really see the muscle definition that you want if you only focus on working out. So what should you do outside the gym to support that muscle growth? A lean lifestyle is the final silver bullet. Training is the spark that tells your body that it's time to grow new muscle, but your diet and your lifestyle are the tinder that burn afterward. What you eat and how you recover from your training permit the changes that you're trying to encourage while you're in the gym. Training hard and properly in the gym without providing your body adequate nutrition and recovery is like sending a bunch of construction workers to a job site with a bunch of shoddy tools and crappy materials and telling them to go build a building. And when it comes to your lifestyle, there are 2 factors that impact your ability to build muscle and lose fat more than anything else. The first is your sleep. If you're not sleeping well, life kind of sucks. You carry more fat and you build less muscle. I just released a video called Why You're Tired All the Time, which is worth watching if you struggle with this. With sleep, you'll get the biggest bang for your buck by consistently getting an adequate quality and quantity of sleep. Not everyone needs the same amount of sleep, so you might feel great on 6 hours of sleep, or you might feel like you really do need 9 hours of sleep. But extending your sleep is a great way to get hurt less in the gym and build more muscle and lose more fat. Just spend 1 extra hour in bed each night this week and see how that feels. With sleep quality, you'll want to keep your room dark and cool and avoid screens if you can, at least 30 minutes to an hour before bed, and just keep your bed strictly for sex and sleep. Use any combination of melatonin, aromatherapy, eye mask, earplugs, white noise, and deep breathing to help you fall asleep faster. The second factor to consider is your stress management. Your first line of defense is just avoiding stressful situations. So don't take on too much work when possible, and just block your ex's phone number and find a good stress outlet that really relaxes you. I find that even 10 or 15 minutes a day of just eyes closed, deep breathing really de-stresses me. Spending mindful time with my girlfriend or my dog is also a great thing too. All else being equal, the person who manages their sleep and their stress will build significantly more muscle and lose significantly more body fat than the person who doesn't. It also just makes life so much better, and when you sleep better, you're less stressed. And when you're less stressed, you sleep better. You can think of them like results multipliers when it comes to body composition. They're positive multipliers if you do them well, and they're negative multipliers if you don't. So choose wisely. But what should you eat if you're skinny fat? Every time you sit down to eat, there should be a protein-dense food on your plate. So if you're sitting down to a plate with just Pop-Tarts and Nutella, that should feel a little bit wrong to you. Go to the fridge and you get yourself a chicken breast, and then you have Pop-Tarts, Nutella, and a chicken breast, which is much better. For men, starting with 1 to 2 palm-sized portions of protein is going to be just fine. Anywhere from 2 to 4 meals per day will work just great. If you're tracking your protein, eating anywhere from 0.7 grams to 1 gram per pound of your body weight is going to help you maximize how much muscle you're building and retain it if your goal is to lose more fat. You'll feel so much better when you eat mostly healthy foods: legumes, fish, eggs, dairy, bread, whole grains, nuts and seeds. All that good stuff that you already know. Junk food like snacks and treats are totally cool in moderation as well, and I'll show you in the next section how to tell if you're eating too many of those. As for hydration, just drink when you're thirsty and you'll be good to go in 99% of cases. Now when it comes to your diet, should you bulk or should you cut if you're skinny fat? The answer is to do neither. Here's your plan for the next 90 days. When you're starting out, I recommend eating just at maintenance calories. So you're not eating enough food to gain weight, you're not losing weight, you're just hanging steady. You might see a 2 or 3% fluctuation in either direction, but that's just normal water weight fluctuations. But overall, the trend should be staying about the same. So be enough calories and enough protein to support muscle growth and hard training in the gym, but not so much food that you're gaining any fat. In most cases, you'll actually start building some muscle and losing some fat, which is called recomposition. I wrote a free guide called Body Recomp 101 that explains this in detail. You can grab it using the first link in the description box. But eating at maintenance will also teach you to nail your nutrition and your training consistently without the added stress of a fat loss diet. The only goal in this phase is to get you sleeping well, eating properly, and training hard. This is something I definitely overlooked, and I just jumped into a hardcore weight loss diet before I had any of the fundamentals in place first. So just eat at a maintenance level for at least 3 months to start while you're crushing your training. And it doesn't matter if you're perfect right off the bat, because of what comes next. During your 3 months at maintenance, I want you to monitor your progress to see how things are going. This is another crucial skill you need to develop for long-term results. Otherwise, you might change things that are already working, or you won't change things that definitely aren't working. So track your workouts by keeping a training log. Keep track of the exercises you do and how many sets you do, how many reps you do, and how much weight you use. You should also track your diet by journaling your food intake. This will ensure that you're eating adequate protein to support muscle growth, and it'll also give you the opportunity to adjust your food intake. If you're gaining weight or if you're losing weight, you can always just adjust your calories down or up by 10% and then wait 2 weeks and see if your weight starts to stabilize again. You should also track your body weight by stepping on the scale on at least 2 non-consecutive days per week. You can also use a tape measure once a month on your biceps, your waist, or whatever else you want to keep track of. And you can track your visual progress by taking pictures in the mirror once per month to just keep an eye on how things are changing visually. Now that you've done your 3 months at maintenance, it's time to make your big choice. And don't pull your hair out about this choice because both roads lead to the same place. After those 2 or 3 months that you've been at maintenance and you're training hard with weights and eating plenty of protein and sleeping better, you might find that your clothes are starting to fit differently. You might find that you're just feeling firmer and you're looking leaner and better. You're undergoing that body recomposition we talked about, where you're losing fat and building muscle at the same time. If you are feeling good about the progress that you're making, just keep doing exactly what you have been doing. Another 3 months, 6 months, or even another year at maintenance level of calories, just continuing to get stronger in the gym, eating plenty of healthy food and recovering well. You'll probably just continue to make all kinds of awesome progress. But after 3 months, 6 months, or a year at this maintenance level, you might actually want to shed the excess fat that you're carrying. That's when it's time to do a cut. And for the cut, you're gonna keep doing all the productive habits that you were doing before. Training to build muscle in the gym, eating a high protein diet, and managing your sleep and stress properly. But now you're gonna aim to lose 0.5 to 1% of your body weight each week. And a smart and conservative loss rate like this is gonna help you lose the fat without giving up your hard-earned muscle. All you need to do is drop your calories from your maintenance level down about 20 or 30%. And plan to stick with this for 8 to 10 weeks. I recommend setting a start date and an end date. And just get to work. And if you want a step-by-step guide to fat loss dieting, check out 4-Point Fat Loss. It's my program linked in the description box that will get you on track to see visible results as fast as possible without BS diets or hours of cardio. And after you finish your fat loss diet or your recomp, it's kind of up to you where you want to go from there. In order to reach your dream physique and make all kinds of long-term progress, you definitely need to keep up with those healthy habits of training, sleeping, and eating well. But depending on how you feel about your progress, you have 3 main choices. You can either maintain your weight and keep your current routine and sustain your results, but make some slow muscle gain progress over time, or you can start a bulk or a muscle gain diet and slowly gain weight over time if you really want to add as much muscle mass as possible, or you can cut further and do another fat loss diet after a short maintenance period of 4 or 6 weeks. The advice of how to fix a skinny fat physique is shared widely on the internet, but nobody seems to follow it. Here's what I want you to do. Focus for the next 3 months. Pick one plan to follow for your food and your workouts. Ignore other fitness information, get consistent, develop healthy habits, and build muscle. Lose fat when you're ready, then maintain, cut further, or bulk. Commit to doing this properly and you'll be glad you did. For me personally, the results were absolutely fucking life-changing. Even though you won't see progress instantly, you need to stick with it because a lot of the gains you're making are underneath the surface and they'll continue to show up when you least expect it. You keep learning and improving and solving problems as you go, and then boom, one day you wake up and it's an overnight success, which is basically exactly what happened to this YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching. As always, be sure to subscribe to the channel so I can see you in the next one. Peace.